Audi Q7 2015 car review. Since it was introduced in 2006, the Audi Q7 has found over 500,000 homes, and finally, 9 years later, an all-new model has arrived on UK shores. To most, beauty is in the eye of the beholder after all. This Q7 is anything but a looker, yet this new car promises to be the best to drive and most technically advanced SUV from the firm yet. Of course it has some tough competition, not least the excellent Volvo XC90, the established BMW X5 or refreshed Mercedes GLE. Performance. Here in the UK, Audi Q7 performance is taken care of by a pair of diesel engines only, both 3 litres in capacity but with differing outputs of 215 bhp and 268 bhp. Standard power 3-litre diesel. Truth be told, despite this engine's considerable power figure, and peak torque of 500 Nm developed at just 1,250 revolutions per minute, it feels rather underwhelming in this application. To call it slow would be to do it a disservice, as evidenced by its on-paper performance figures suggesting it can complete the benchmark 062 mph sprint in a reasonable 7.4 seconds and top out at 134 mph, but it never feels particularly happy lugging the Q7 around if you make any form of performance-based demand of it. Of course, this feeling of slight lethargy is likely down to the Q7's considerable 2,060 grams kerb weight, which admittedly is slightly lighter than its main competitors. Take things a little slower though, and it makes sense, with a linear and hushed delivery of its power that makes it easy to drive and bolsters refinement. And around town, say on a school run or a trip to the local supermarket, you're unlikely to notice any form of performance deficit. High power 3-litre diesel, but if you do want your Q7 to pick up its skirts and shift with some pace, it's the 53 bhp and 100 Nm more powerful 3-litre diesel you need to choose. It still doesn't feel quite as fast as its 6.5-second official 062 mph time suggests it should, but it demonstrates a far more flexible performance than its slightly lesser endowed brother. The good news is the economy and efficiency figures barely falter either, so as long as you can afford the extra initial outlay, it's the engine choice to have. There is no choice of gearbox with the Q7 though, offered solely with the firm's 8-speed automatic. As you'd expect, it shifts smoothly, decisively and when required with a decent pace too. Just don't bother utilizing the paddles behind the steering wheel, as while they work effectively, leaving the box to its own devices suits the Q7's relaxed character far better anyway. Handling. If you want your Audi to handle like a sports car, hold out for an R8 or even a TT, the Q7 is less about sporty handling and more about comfort, refinement, practicality and ease of use. And it's this latter discipline that it nails, with light but relatively linear steering and matching control weights in the pedals. It turns into corners with ease at the moderate speeds it will likely be driven at, and while there is some detectable body roll, it's far from excessive. Up the pace, and like the best near-Teuton off-roaders, the Q7's will roll harder and its resistance to understeer will wane, the squeal of tires and flicker of the electronic stability control escape light there to remind you to drive more like a dad than hooligan. After all, kids in the rearmost seats won't likely appreciate your racing lines through the country lanes. It's a large vehicle, this Q7, so hustling at speed along narrow broads isn't particularly advised anyway, despite a surprising amount of grip on offer from the four-wheel drive system. That weight will come into play on any particularly fierce downhill section too, as you give the brakes a solid workout. There's another choice to be made with the Audi Q7 suspension systems, ranging from the conventionally sprung model to the adaptive air suspension. The latter also adjusts the ride height for a level load, regardless of what you ask the Audi to carry, while the Drive Select system allows the driver to tailor its responses alongside the throttle and steering to the driver's requirements. And whether you're traveling at high or low speed, the optional all-wheel steering system will improve stability or increase agility, turning the rear wheels fractionally in the same direction as the fronts above 9.3 mph and in the opposite direction below. Equipment. For the UK there's only 2 trim levels to choose from, the C and S line models, plus 2 engine options, but in typical Audi tradition, both are heavily bolstered by a lengthy options list. Standard Audi Q7 equipment. This isn't a cheap car to buy, so it's pleasing to see that the levels of standard equipment on the Audi Q7 are borderline generous. Choose the C and you'll notice a fetching set of 19-inch alloy wheels, xenon headlights with LED daytime running lamps plus LED rear lamps, a full body color finish for the exterior panels and special door blade trim with embossed Quattro badging. There were 9 exterior colors to choose from, 2. Inside is where it gets interesting though, with dual-zone climate control, electrically adjustable front seats with leather upholstery, MMI navigation plus with 8.3-inch color touchscreen, DAB radio, Bluetooth connectivity and Audi Connect online services with 3-month free trial. 7 seats are standard here in the UK too, though you can delete them for no extra cost. Audi Drive Select lets drivers choose from one of 5 drive modes. Parking sensors front and rear stop you scraping the bodywork, and pre-sense city ensures you don't have any unexpected shunts at low speed. Cruise control takes the strain out of driving on the motorway. Keyless start and power tailgate make living with the car day-to-day easier, and for those keen to test their Q7's metal off-road, there's hill hold and hill descent controls. Choose the slightly sportier looking Audi Q7 S-Line and you'll notice the alloy wheels have grown to 20 inches, the bumpers have been remodeled for extra visual aggression, the rear glass is tinted and indicators are now the dynamic variety sweeping outwards in the direction of intended travel. Inside, the 2-zone climate control is upgraded to a 4-zone version and the front seats are now sports versions with an Alcantara and leather mix, complete with S-Line embossing. Optional Audi Q7 accessories. The list of add-ons for your Q7 is extensive, with some more useful additions than others. Thanks to Audi Exclusive, you can almost order a bespoke Q7 should you wish. However, some of the highlights on the list include the adaptive air suspension, which is all we have tried so far and can happily recommend, adaptive cruise control with stop and go and traffic jam assist, effectively turning this SUV into a self-driving vehicle for short periods of time. All-wheel steering improves the car's agility, both at low and high speeds, while Audi Side Assist ensures you don't mistakenly side-swipe a vehicle in your blind spot. Both the Bose and Bang & Olufsen stereo upgrades sound great, though the latter is expensive enough to justify its addition from serious audiophiles only, while the Audi phone box boosts the signal of your mobile on the move using the car's antenna. The color head-up display is crisp, clear and an essential add-on if you've ever lived with one before, while a panoramic glass roof lets plenty of light into the cabin, and for night the matrix LED headlights that adapt their beam pattern to the road conditions and traffic situation are invaluable. Those who regularly tow a trailer or caravan should invest in the electric folding tow bar with trailer assist. A digital display and rotary control presets the angle of attack and adjusts the steering accordingly. All you have to do is operate the accelerator, brakes and gearbox. Parking can be taken care of by the parking system advanced with surround camera. Comfort. If there's something it does well, then Audi Q7 Comfort is definitely it. It's a resolutely easy car to drive, and with the air suspension, it's supple and softly sprung, even with larger wheels. Combined with a distinct lack of wind or road noise, it means the Q7 is perfectly refined at speed and an ideal vehicle for covering long distances in. The engines, while not the most exhilarating units, acquired too with a linear spread of their power and hushed engine note, most likely thanks to the sound deadening employed in the car's structure. A smooth shifting 8-speed automatic gearbox, both at docile speeds and more committed velocities, further increases the sensation of comfort. Choose the electrically adjustable seats, which also offer a heating and ventilating function, and it won't take long for front seat passengers to find their ideal driving position either. And those suffering from any aches and pains will delight in the massage function, with various choices of treatment on the move. Those in the middle row of seats will find themselves flooded with space too, and only the broadest of adults will feel pinched sat 3 abreast in the middle row. Of course, the rearmost pair of chairs are only meant for children. They will accommodate full-grown adults, but a long journey would likely prove cramp-inducing. Practicality. In the UK, Audi Q7 practicality is bolstered by the standard fit 7-inch seat option, which along with ISOFIX mounting points across all chairs allows a driver to carry up to 6 children in safety and comfort. Of course, the rearmost seats are more suited for children than adults, especially on long journeys, but those of a 6-foot-tall disposition will still physically fit. It's when sitting in rows 1 or 2 that you'll enjoy the most space though, headroom and shoulder room having increased over previous with generous amounts of legroom on offer too. Sliding the middle bench fore and aft can alter this to tip the balance in the favour of those in the rearmost pair if needs be. The rear row can be electrically lowered from buttons placed in the boot. Loading large items into the boot is made easier by a sill that is 48mm lower than before. Use all the seats available and boot space suffers accordingly, but dropping the third row means there is 770 litres of space on offer. Fold all seats flat into the floor and load the Q7 up to the roof, and that already impressive number climbs to 1,955 litres, which makes the Audi Q7 something of a well-trimmed van in carrying capacity terms. If customers take advantage of the Audi Connect system and online services, they can stay in touch with the world on the move, plus a mobile Wi-Fi hotspot means passengers can surf the web wherever they are in the world from within the Q7's luxury confines. Safety. As you'd expect from the brand, Quattro is standard on this SUV, and that means there's a good chance of avoiding an accident before it's even happened, so Audi Q7 safety promises to be impressive. So it proves when scanning the list of standard systems included with every car. Each comes with 8 airbags and attention assist, which monitors the driver's alertness levels and suggests a brake in driving if it believes it's required. On top of that, there's hold assist to stop you rolling down a hill when setting off, cruise control, with an adjustable speed limiter, a rear parking system, and both Audi Presence Basic and Audi Presence City. The latter works at speeds up to 52.8 miles per hour and uses a camera to monitor events up to 100 meters ahead. If it expects a collision with another vehicle, object or human, it sends an audible warning into the cabin, then momentarily applies the brakes to jolt the driver to alert them, and eventually will fully apply the brakes to minimize the impact. At speeds under 25 miles per hour it will avoid an impact entirely. There are 3 different optional safety packages that customers can add to their Q7, comprising city, parking and tour packages. The city package includes Audi Side Assist, which uses LEDs in the mirror to warn of vehicles in the blind spot. Cross-traffic assist, which monitors for other cars passing as you reverse out of a blind parking spot and informs the driver via a visual then acoustic warning before activating the brakes momentarily to jolt the vehicle. Exit warning stops you opening your door onto passing traffic unawares, while the trailer maneuver assist works at speeds up to 6.2 miles per hour and automatically reverses anything you are towing into a desired space or along a trajectory set by the MMI rotary controller, adjusting the steering while you operate the brakes and accelerator. Choose the parking package and park assist system is included, which will steer your Q7 into perpendicular and parallel parking spaces, and steer you out of the latter when you need to leave. It also includes 360-degree cameras. The tour package includes adaptive cruise control with stop-and-go function, which will brake the car to a halt and accelerate up to speed again when in traffic. The traffic jam assist, even making small steering inputs for a form of autonomous driving. Collision avoidance assist plus turn assist is also included, the former adding torque to the steering inputs to steer around the obstacle, and the latter monitors vehicles turning across the front of your Q7 and if needs be will slow the car to a halt to avoid contact. Reliability. Using plenty of technology from other models, Audi Q7 reliability promises to be near exemplary. Especially the pair of diesel engines, which feature in the firm's A4, A5, A6, A7 and A8 ranges, having constantly proven themselves for robustness. And despite being fitted with plenty of hatch kit, it's all a variation of what we have seen before, including the Audi virtual cockpit display as debuted on the TT Coupe and TT Roadster. In fact, this may be our only reservation, having witnessed and heard reports of some minor electrical glitches with this particular system. By the time the Q7 hits showrooms, we'd expect the firm to have ironed any of these out though.